I just don't feel very good about my writing right now. I had one of those rare moments where the story felt very purposeful. It felt like this story is very important for me to tell. And I think coming off of that and trying to find that same feeling with a new short story has been really hard. After I wrote Sway With Me, after I sold Sway With Me, I was like, okay, I need to like not put myself too much into a box, but maybe I like being in that box.
You will be just fine.
Hello. I think this vlog is going to be, I'm gonna try to make it a writing vlog, but it's also gonna be part moving vlog. I don't plan on bringing all of my books to my new place. It's kind of just like a hassle to move books, but I do want to bring most of them. So this is the first bag. I also have this duffel bag. Here I have the books that I want to eventually bring, or I might consider still bringing. I'm not sure yet, but these are books that I have already read / don't plan on reading anytime soon. Obviously the Hunger Games trilogy, Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. Oh, I actually think I will bring this book. This was a gift from my friend Emily, so this is actually much higher on my TBR, so I think I am gonna bring this one. Dark Rise by C.S. Packet. I have started this, but it can wait. Brave New World, I have also started this, but this can also wait. Convenience Store Women, I have read many times. Poppy War, I probably won't read anytime soon, but they will be coming eventually. The team over at Ana Luisa reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in collaborating with them on a video, and I was like, yes, 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 please. Now, well before they even reached out to me, well before I was making videos, I shop a ton from Ana Luisa. I buy a lot of my jewelry from them, kind of like my go-to place for when I want to build out my collection. All right, so here is the package. And then in here we have 3 pieces in their lovely pouch. I'm so excited. Okay, let's open the earrings first. So here they are. I'm not a huge fan of studs, but whenever I wear like a dangly earring, sometimes I don't want it to be too obtrusive and like heavy on the ears. This is the perfect size. So these 2 are actually some silver pieces. I've been having like a really hard time finding silver jewelry that I really like. Here they are. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of obsessed with these. The little hearts. Honestly, I'm like shook because I feel like I own so much Ana Luisa jewelry now. So this is actually a layering set. Here is the first piece. I feel like I don't have like a simple basic silver necklace. Like all my necklaces are gold. Do we love? I kind of love it. Oh my gosh. I've honestly never been disappointed with any of the things that I've ordered from them. They have a wide range of styles. They usually always have what I'm looking for, and their pieces are such high quality. And even the ones that I've had for over a year or 2 now haven't tarnished at all. Not only that, but all of their pieces are very affordable. They're also a carbon neutral brand, both in their packaging and their products. If you guys are interested in shopping the Ana Luisa collection, you can use my code in the description box and get a discount off of your next purchase. Okay, so it is Friday night. Tomorrow I am going to be spending the entire day moving into my apartment. I don't think I'm gonna have a very productive next few weeks of writing, unfortunately. So I've kind of been trying to spend today like making up for that. But yeah, it's like 7 p.m. right now, and I have to pack. I haven't finished packing, but I just kind of like had a 1.5 hour writing session. I was going to work on my short story, but I just wasn't in the mood, and I kind of felt like writing BLANCO. I'm actually almost done this chapter. I'm on chapter 3. I just have to write like 1 more scene-ish, not even a full scene. I think, I don't know, I'm kind of all over the place. I sort of wanted to work on NIGHTWARD again today. I just haven't had the time. My priorities writing wise are all over the place right now. Let's see, I did spend some time this week working a little bit on my short story. It doesn't have a name. I originally did title it, and then I just decided that I don't really like that title anymore. Right now the short story is just nicknamed Sketch. We're about like 600 words into this short story, and I'm having a hard time finding the character voice. Yeah. And predictably, because I'm having a hard time with it, I'm kind of like running away from the problem right now. So we'll see if I feel like going back to it, but I'm such a mood writer right now. I just feel like writing my books again. So I probably won't be able to hit the October deadline that I was hoping to hit for this one magazine. I think I'm done with BLANCO today. Honestly, this book, if you don't know, Project BLANCO is my cyberpunk novel, and there's something about writing this book that truly, it truly takes everything out of me. The mental energy that I need to put into like writing every single sentence because of the character voice that I have subjected myself to for this book, yeah, it just makes me really tired. So I wrote 926 new words today, so that's great, good for me. I'm gonna close this now because I'm just done with it. I am going to try to work on NIGHTWARD tonight a little bit if I feel like writing tonight, after I finish packing everything. I doubt I'll be able to finish draft 2 of NIGHTWARD before the end of the year, which was like my vague goal a couple months ago, but it's fine. As long as I don't sleep on it for too long, I think it'll be okay. I've been kind of like, I don't know, just to, I guess, talk about like writing motivation and stuff. It's really weird to come out of a month of, or like a long period of having a ton of motivation. I mean, if you guys watched my last writing vlog, I just had a ton of motivation. I was like constantly in the mood to write. Right now, I don't have any like new ideas for stories, but I'm having a hard time being in the mood to write for a few reasons. I think obviously the main reason is like the stress of moving and not having the time. And then I think I just go through these periods where writing makes me very, very tired. I don't know, it's kind of like a bad storm where I feel like I just have to let it pass. I feel like I'm hitting a low after having such a high. Earlier this month, I got the news that my short story was getting published, and I was so happy about that. And then I just got really motivated about writing again and, you know, wanting to keep up the momentum and just write something new and, you know, reach another milestone or another achievement. But now I feel like I'm encountering this new problem where I've attained this goal of getting a magazine acceptance, and then now I feel like I just want to outdo myself. Like I want to write a better short story, I want to get another acceptance, I want to finish I want to get a manuscript to a place where I can query it. Yeah, it's just this weird feeling of like having to outdo myself, feeling really mentally draining and tiring, and I'm not feeling 100% right now in terms of my mental state. Yeah, period. That's it. I have nothing else to say. I have nothing encouraging or positive or enlightening to say. I just don't feel very good about my writing right now, but it's fine. I feel like I've also gotten a bunch of questions recently about like advice that I have in terms of how to approach writing short fiction and what my short fiction process is. I feel like I honestly just don't have anything particularly helpful to say at this point. I think I need to reflect on it a little bit more, and honestly, I feel like I need a little bit more experience before I talk about it, because with my short fiction, I'm honestly just a gut writer. Yeah, I don't think I have any concrete tips that I can give in terms of like how to approach a short story from scratch, you know? I think it's like a very sort of vague concept. I think when it comes to short stories, you're not so much building a plot as you are reflecting or contemplating on a single idea or two, depending on what you're writing, of course. Yeah, I don't think there's as much structure with a short story. I think with novels, you know, there's definitely like outlines and plot structures that you can follow that are really good frameworks for like how, you know, how the sort of best ways to kind of structure a story. For short fiction, I need to give it a little bit more thought before I can say anything that would be helpful. In order for me to like start writing a story, I need at least an idea for some kind of character conflict, and I need a theme. If I don't have those two things, then I feel like I don't have a story. So yeah, I think that there are a lot of writers who start with the external thing first, like especially if you're a speculative writer, you might come up with an idea for like a world building detail or like some kind of like cool speculative thing. But I oftentimes start with character and theme, and I ask myself like, what do I want this story to contemplate on? Like, what are the vibes, you know? So yeah, I'm a gut driven writer. I'm like a vibe driven writer. It's interesting because that's really not the way that I approach my books. Like, my books have a ton of structure, but short fiction is kind of a free-for-all, and I think that's why it's fun. Hello. We're back. We're in a new place. I have a lot of stuff left to unpack. This is my new chair, which I wanted my new room to like have that green aesthetic because green's my favorite color. My old room literally used to be green. I was about to say good morning, but it's actually like almost noon. I have a meeting in like 15 minutes, but I need to like eat really quickly, or at least drink some coffee. This is actually some leftover coffee from yesterday. She's gorgeous. At some point today, I'm gonna try to write. Okay, so I don't know if I am all of a sudden out of my short fiction era, but I haven't been very motivated to work on any of my short stories for the past few days. I really anticipated that I would be, but I'm not. So the plan for today is to work again on NIGHTWARD, which is my adult fantasy. I want to get through most of that second draft, or a good chunk of that second draft, before the end of the year. I'm almost at the halfway point, so yeah, I don't know. I was honestly feeling pretty good about this rewrite, but I think since I took a break from writing it, I'm sort of completely out of the vibe and out of the mindset. So I think what I'm going to do today is spend some time just rereading the work and trying to remember where I was at with my rewrite. I'm just gonna like skim the draft so far just to get myself in the mood again. And then I think after work, I will work a little bit more on this draft, and then in the evening, I think I will make my writing session a short fiction writing session. It is currently 5:30 p.m. As I was actually editing this conversation that I had with Rachel, actually something that she says in this video about how, you know, one thing to really help build your confidence and excitement and motivation as a writer is to periodically read your work as a reader would, in the sense that just try to enjoy it for what it is. And I think I'm going to try to do that with NIGHTWARD today, because it's been so long since I've worked on it. I just want to like read, you know, at least like up until the point where I stopped with my revision, so around like chapter like 13 or whatever. I just want to like skim that today, get back into like the mindset of being excited about this piece, eat a snack and have some tea and enjoy it. So I was doing some reflection on like why I'm having such a hard time writing my short fiction. I feel like I really got attached to Sway With Me. I really felt like it was new, it was good. I had one of those rare moments where the story felt very purposeful, felt like this story is very important for me to tell. And I think coming off of that and trying to find that same feeling with a new short story has been really hard. I'm constantly trying to like push myself to write something just as good. You know, I grew really attached to that character voice. I grew really attached to that world. And so I'm having a hard time trying to just completely write something new, because I feel like I'm back at square one. Anyways, I'm going to reread NIGHTWARD today, and I'm very excited. All right, so I finished a reread of NIGHTWARD revision draft so far. I don't know if I'm just like crazy right now, but honestly, it feels like... Okay, so the structure of the book for draft 2 is that there's going to be 6 parts. I'm currently in the process of finishing part 3. Part 3 has a lot of new writing in it. Part 1 and 2 was pretty much just line edits, and I just feel like the writing in part 3, which is like mostly new stuff, feels stronger than the writing in the first 2 parts. And I don't know if it's just because I've read the first 2 parts so many times that the writing doesn't feel as fresh because I've read it so many times, but something about the writing in part 3 just like feels stronger. And a part of me is wondering if that has to do with like my writing style is evolving. Even the writing in draft 1 of this book is now, my writing has like changed. I think I'm gonna try to just keep working on this chapter 14. Like, I guess it's a good thing that I feel like my writing is like getting better, but also it's kind of a bad thing because now I have the urge to completely line edit the first 2 parts that I just wrote. Okay. So my writing session last night was all right. It was all right. Mostly worked on NIGHTWARD revisions. I got through like a chapter and a half of revisions. I don't like writing this part of the book. I specifically remember being in a writing slump the first time I wrote this part of the book, and we're hitting that same writing slump now. There's just something about this October, November part of the year that makes me stressed. And I think part of what it is like, you know that NaNoWriMo's coming up, you know that the end of the year is coming up, and there's just all this pressure to accomplish something by the end of the year. I felt this way about after I finished writing Project Moon, my YA fantasy, and then when I moved to writing a new project. And because I feel like my writing evolves from project to project, whenever I go back to revise an old project, and NIGHTWARD is now my oldest current project, I feel like, okay, I've only been away from the draft for like a month, but there's just something about the writing that it's different. It's different. I feel like I have evolved my style a bit. I don't just mean the prose, but also the substance of the book, like what it's about plot-wise, what it's about theme-wise. I don't want to like completely change the story or anything like that, but I think I have to do a little bit of soul searching to remind myself what I was actually trying to accomplish when I was writing this, because like I really am guided by theme to almost propel me forward in my writing sessions, because whenever I lose motivation, whenever I'm not sure exactly what I'm trying to do with a story, if I know what my core theme is and I know what I'm trying to say and what I want the ultimate message of the story to be, whether it's short fiction or, you know, whether it's a manuscript, I can usually carry myself towards some kind of ending as long as I know what I want that ultimate theme to be. I feel like the longer I spend time away from NIGHTWARD, the more I'm losing track of what my theme is. I'm still feeling like generally okay about the story though. Like if I just push through a little bit further into the revision, I can figure something out. So yeah, I worked on NIGHTWARD for like an hour or 2 last night, and then after that I did a little bit of work on Sketch, which is just like the nickname of my short story that I'm working on right now. Great. So this short story takes place in the world of Project Wicked, which is a new adult fantasy that I will write at some point. I don't know when, but at some point. Yeah, I brainstormed this short story idea within the world of Project Wicked, and I'm realizing that I take a lot of time to ramp up into a story. Writing a book, or when I'm starting to write a new manuscript, I can usually hit the ground running with drafting it almost as soon as I'm done writing the outline. But because I don't write outlines for my short fiction, and because my mindset towards short fiction is so different, I feel like I have this period where when I come up with a new idea, I need to stew in it for a while before I can like figure out where to start. It's not a bad thing. It does mean that I'm a pretty slow writer. Like, there are people I think who write like hundreds of short stories in a year, and I don't think I'm ever gonna be that kind of person. But it does mean that I need to be in a very specific mood, write a short story, especially in the beginning phases. I do have a general idea of how I want the short story to go, but I think the other thing, and this just goes back to what I was saying earlier, the other reason that I'm feeling a little bit like I don't know what I'm doing with the story is because I don't know if I've nailed down a theme for this particular short story. I think I want the story to kind of deal with themes of history and, you know, what is lost to time. And so I think in some part that is a core theme that I want to touch upon. I'm having trouble trying to write a contained story when it's part of a larger narrative. I'll let you know if I make any more progress. I just had a crazy day today. I had to take the day off work because I had to go get my driver's license. I've had my driver's license for a very long time. Like, I got it, I don't know, maybe like 7 years ago now. But where I live, you need to like do 2 road tests. So I've had like the level 1 driver's license. Yeah, like 7 years, but I haven't gotten like the full driver's license until today. So I did that today. It was such a long day, but I did make some progress on BLANCO before I left, which was like on Friday or Saturday. Friday night, I think. I was able to make some really good progress with BLANCO. I'm actually really happy with it. The very first scene of the book is something that has been giving me a lot of grief for the last little while, and I basically wrote like a draft of it. I just wasn't vibing with it. I had a lot of conversations with my brother about what it's missing, and I basically spent pretty much an entire day rewriting it, and it's in a lot better of a place now. I'm actually really happy with it. It was a pretty good writing day. I think I wrote something like 1,000 words. I think tonight I'm going to get a little bit more writing done and hopefully make some more progress on BLANCO. I've kind of been in the mood to write another cyberpunk short story. I think after writing Sway With Me, there's just, I don't know, I'm like really in my cyberpunk feels right now. I also finished watching Edgerunners on Netflix. That was solid. I would give it like a solid 8 out of 10. Like, tonally, I thought it was amazing. Animation wise, I thought it was stellar. The plot itself, I just wish it had given some breathing room to the character arcs, and because it only had like 10 episodes, 10 like 20-minute episodes, the writing wasn't as tight as I would have liked it, but I think as a whole it was an incredibly fun show to watch. I don't know, I feel like maybe I'll start writing a new cyberpunk short story. I kind of wanted to give my cyberpunk short fiction like space to breathe, because after I wrote Sway With Me, after I sold Sway With Me, I was like, okay, I need to like not put myself too much into a box, but maybe I like being in that box. So I think the vlog's gonna be wrapping up soon, right around now. I was working a little bit on BLANCO today. I honestly didn't write many new words. I was just kind of tinkering with chapter 3. There's like some parts of chapter 3 that I still want to edit, and then I also started chapter 4, where I had started that a few days ago, and I was just reading over what I wrote for chapter 4. Chapter 4 is gonna be an exciting chapter. It's certainly what I'm looking forward to. So I think I'm just gonna wrap up the vlog here. I'm actually filming a video with Kelly, which I'm really excited about. Keep an eye out on here or on her channel. I just have to review my notes for that video, just kind of like reflecting on what I've done for these past 2 weeks. I definitely didn't get as much done as I would have liked to for this vlog. I really wish I could have made some progress on Sketch, my short story. It's been a lot more difficult trying to ramp up with that story. I know I've talked about, like, you know, the difficulties in finding the character voice, but I think it's also, I haven't written a lot of urban or contemporary fantasy. I think pretty much never. I don't really do contemporary fantasy, and I'm really trying to do that with this piece, and it's tough writing in a genre that you are new to relatively. So there's that aspect to it, and then also the fact that it's like I'm trying to do this like dual timeline thing, and you know, figuring out how the two timelines really play off of each other. It's a whole thing. But stay tuned, maybe I'll talk about it in another vlog when I make a little bit more progress on it. All of that said, I am happy with the progress that I made on Blanco. I think it's good. I like where the story's going. That is the writing update. I'm gonna go eat and then film with Kelly.
So tell me why I'm tripping over lines.
Okay, that is the end of this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanted to give another huge thank you to Ana Luisa for collaborating with me on this video. Once again, if you guys are interested in shopping the Ana Luisa collection, you can click the link in the description box, use my code, and get a discount off of your next purchase. That's all for this video, and I hope all of your writing projects are going well. I'll see you in the next one.